Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the channel. It's Rad. A long time no see. There was a Easter break of a week, so two lives, or rather like two dates, which I would usually do a live stream. I was not around. So if you had missed me, I'm around again. And first things first, that I want to say, there is some kind of a issue with the camera mode. For some reason I cannot make the autofocus to work, and for that reason it's just I cannot, I won't be able to show you the cards I draw up close, because it's just for the purposes of showing you. It does not focus on the card itself, and it kind of like it makes it in a blur. So I will try to show them as best as I can, but it's just that's an issue that I'll have to investigate after the live stream. I just found out about it yesterday. Software run well. So with that said, what we're going to do today, it is my personal favorite. What do we need to know as of this moment? And the first thing that I'm going to do is the collective. And for the collective, the first card that we do have, that is the Knight of Wands. The second card, that will be the Seven of Cups. And the third card, that will be the Nine of Wands. Okay, so these are the three cards we have. And first things first, they do focus on individuals. Okay, and in the next few days to a week, there will be a set path being established in between you and me, or rather like a us and specific path established in between us and a specific entity, or in other words, there will be a cut off the bullshits and those kind of aspects which may have fantasized about, or we have anticipated without having any, say, a rock solid proof that things can happen, are going to become clear. That's pretty much, these are a celluloid statements, that these are things that can never take place. So therefore, the out of touch of reality that we may have about one or another situation with one or another person are going to simply disappear in the next few days. And that's why we may observe that certain things, or rather like certain relationships that we do have or that we are starting, are not going very well. Okay, and that is because aspects we hoped for, aspects we have anticipated for, may not be able to work around, to work over, whatever you want to say it, moving forward into the future. Now that is when it comes to us and going forward with the interactions and with the relationships. On a more generic level, for what those cards are showing here, is that next few days should be quite laid off, with the prospects that we can rearrange the way we do things and the way we go about our day, in a way that we can make our days way more enterprising and way more interesting for us, finding things to do, finding people to interact with, and finding things to read as well. It is just whatever is going to dapple our days with a with an interesting aspect and with interesting enterprises. That is how we will be able to structure and set up our environment. And finally, Should there be anything important that we have to undertake within the next few days to a week, it does look like that that endeavor, we are to put into work all the experience and all the professionalism we do have on our plate in order to see it through. It is the best way how I can describe it for what those cards here are showing, without actually overdoing, without actually overcooking the situation moving forward. So it's good days which are coming forward, excluding, you know, certain relationships that we do have, because as I said, there will be a lift of the curtain within those relationships. Hello, Jen, Jasmine, Eva, Alti, welcome to the stream. So with that said, a few notes about the stream itself before I move forward. There will be 12 readings, one conducted for each star sign. I'm going to start with Aries, and I'm going to end up with Pisces. And the readings that I'm going to do for each star sign, they are going to be elemental dignity readings. I know why it's not working. Okay. I'm going to fix it later for the next live stream. Right, so the elemental dignity readings, this is a 3-card spread, which the 3 cards are forming a one message. And should you wish to have a personal reading with me, you can always go to my website, which link you're going to find in the description down below. And there at the very front page, you can see a full list of my services and also their pricing. And if you do decide to support the stream and the channel through Super Chat, you're going to have your reading at the end of the stream. That's pretty much guaranteed. And should your Super Chat be $20 or above, the reading is going to be that very same elemental dignity reading I am to do for the star signs, and as well for I did for the collective. You're welcome, Steph. All right, moving on. First, we do have Aries. All right, first card for Aries, that will be the Five of Wands, followed by the Page of Swords, and the final card we do have, that will be the Four of Pentacles. So those 3 cards. And what we need to know it is that out of the arguments, or rather like you, Aries, what you need to know it is that out of the arguments and the fights, the wrangles that you are to experience in the next few days with people which are close to you, the truth, let's go that narration, the truth is to be born out of it. Or let me put it that way, next few days, the right approach, the right move, the resolution of whatever, it's literally anyone's guess. And when you do clash the idea with, say, your significant one, say with your brother or sister, say with your parents or with your friends, you both are going to be equally wrong and also equally correct. And therefore, the best course moving forward. It is to combine the positives out of the two ideas, the positives out of the different opinions, and that way to confine into a cumulative view and cumulative idea and just move forward together. This is one of the rare conditions, because usually when you do have the energy of the Page of Swords, going forward with the disagreements, it's something futile. Here, that's not the case. Actually, going forward with the disagreements, the more you dive into it, the more you do see the other points of view, the more you do see a reason into it, the more you do see the positive aspects into it and how they can align with yours as well. And that way, you know, everyone can contribute for the resolution for the problem at work, the difficulties into your relationships or your friendships, you know, family matters, or whatever issue you're facing that do involves other people around you. And those disagreements, those even in some cases they could be fights, right? They're not going to impact that much the sense of your security in the next few days. So indulge yourself into seeing the other points of view. The next few days is gonna benefit you a lot. That is literally what you need to know. All right, next we do have a Taurus. First card for Taurus, that will be the Three of Wands, followed by the World, and the third one that we do have another Page of Swords. It's here. Those three cards. All right, two things that you should be aware of. Now, the first one, which relates to the social circle you're in, okay, or the social interactions that you do have, it is that within the next few days, you are going to start seeing that you do need to make a purge, for lack of better words, or in other words, to stop, you know, interacting and maintaining an interactions with one or more than one, or more than just say one person there, for the simple reason it is that you just have to move on, or rather like you just have to progress in your life, you know, into your environment, into your routines, and these people cannot contribute in any way for your progression moving forward. That is going to be the main reason why you will decide that you no longer have anything in common with these people, and your interaction creates just only conflict and nothing literally more. But the other thing it does relate, or rather like does influences. Oh my god, how can I explain it? It does relate, let's say it that way. So it does relate to your personal growth. And for you, Taurus, for what it seems, next few days are going to be the days where you are to receive, help, okay, regarding your challenge. You may have a challenge growing at work, you may have challenge finding love, you know, you may have challenge with your social interactions, whatever you do face a challenge at, okay, this is where you are going to receive a help, and that help is going to be from the most unexpected source for you. That is a source, or rather like that is the last place you had expected to receive pretty much a help from, but alas, that help is gonna come, and it will allow you to kind of like increase the bar of your performance and as well increase the bar of your expectations. And one last thing before I move to Gemini, it is that if you do have that particular question, am I done with it? Not quite. It is the answer. All right, so that was Taurus. Moving next, we do have Gemini. First one for Gemini, that will be the Hermit, followed by Two of Swords, and the third one, that will be the King of Wands. Hell, I hate that. It does not focus. All right. So these three cards. And for Gemini, it will be a weird experience, for a lack of better words. What we do have of them is switch of importance, for a lack of better interpretation. What I mean is that next few days you will understand that by this point you aren't exactly focusing on the let's say that way, on the most important or most essential aspect that you should. And I'm not saying that you are wasting your time or you're not focusing on important matters, just not at the most important ones. And that's why you may experience in the next few days an urge, a need to shift directions, to shift ways, so to speak, which may, of course, surprise the people you do spend your time around, and as well the people that you are associating yourself with. So they may not even support you. Actually, it's most guaranteed that some of them are not going to support you into that decision of yours to stop following one enterprise and abruptly shifting your attention and your direction to another, pretty much leaving them hanging, because that is how it's going to feel from their points of view. From your point of view, is going to be a huge sense of emergency that you have wasted, or rather like you have spent enough, not wasted, but rather spent enough time in a different, in a different field, down the field that you should be pushing into at this given moment. And so your incentive is going to be that you do have to catch up with the missed time, and as well with the missed opportunities. This decision from your behalf to shift direction and to pretty much shift attention, so to speak, is going to be quite wisely and intelligently done. So if someone tries to dispute it for you, you are going to pretty much bury them under arguments why you are to do so. But because you may have that incentive that you have spent your time in the wrong place, or rather like in the not the appropriate place, you may have that, how can I put it into words, lack of motivation, so to speak, lack of enthusiasm to push forward as hard as you can, which you obviously should at that given point. The time is pretty much nigh for you guys to decide what you want to do about the major things of your life, meaning your career and as well your love life, if you haven't decided by that point. by that point, and that decision pretty much is going to shape your near to a moderate future. Jasmine, thank you for the 20 US dollars, and as well Sherry, thank you for the 20 US dollars super chat. For you, Jasmine. For you, Sherry. At the end of the stream, you're gonna have your readings. All right. Hey, Anna. Welcome to the stream. All right, so that was Gemini. Moving next, we do have Cancer. First one for Cancer, the World, followed by Queen of Wands. And the final one for Cancer, that will be the Knight of Pentacles. So these are the three cards. Give me a moment here. So what do you need to know, guys, is that well, it is that in the next couple of days to a week. Anna, thank you for the 20 US dollars. Mwah. Thank you. At the end of the stream, you're gonna have your personalized reading of what you need to know. So, up to a week, you are to come to the realization that whatever endeavors, important endeavors right now you're pushing, right, they are actually in a quite, for the lack of a better word, I'm gonna say consistent fashion. And whatever, how can I put it into words? Whatever it is to be decided there, you know, is there be any decisive aspects, events which you are expecting to happen in regards to those enterprises? They are pretty much in the bag. So while, you know, your tendency may be required, while your attention may be required, pretty much the sail have been set, and it's going to be pretty difficult, one or another individual, you included, you know, to change the course of that particular ship. So what you need to know is that you do need something else, in a sense of some kind of a goal, another goal, right, that you should establish about yourself, because pretty much the challenge here and the sense of accomplishment, it's not like it's not going to be there, but it's not going to be unique anymore. Or let me put it that way, okay? You do have more capacity, and it will benefit you greatly if you do strive and aim to fill up that capacity with another target, with another goal. If you do well with another challenge. Another thing that you should need to know is that if you do try to manipulate someone next few days, it's not gonna go your way. Because and the reason for it is that the circumstances are very well set up, and your manipulation is going to flash out almost immediately, and not just only yours, but anyone's manipulation in your environment, yours included, like I said, is going to be under the effect of that flash out. So if you try to be manipulated, that manipulation is gonna flash out. Or if you do try to manipulate, your manipulation is gonna flash out as well. So try to be as honest and as benign with your in your interactions as you can. Right, that was Cancer. Now moving next, actually a couple of minutes before I move forward. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, that with the camera, it kind of pisses me off big time. But I will have to restart my systems, I guess, in order to try to fix it. Mm. You don't see anything wrong with the camera? Watch that. You know, under normal circumstances, you can see very well the cards I am drawing. Look at now. Can you see it well? No, you can't, because it doesn't change the focus. The software and the camera, they do have a dynamic focus, and they are supposed to focus on moving objects and stop focusing on the last moving object, right? And I'm moving the card in front of you, so it's supposed to stop focusing on the card that I moved in front of you, and you can see it clearly. Now you can't. It's blurry because it doesn't. It focuses only on my face. Okay, and I tried to play around with the settings. It's a little blurry, doesn't do it for me, okay? It pisses me off. Yeah, it pisses me off. Anyway, moving forward, I'll try to fix it. If not, I'm gonna have to go back to my old software, which I kind of like. I will hate that, but it is what it is. Anyway, Leo. Let me shuffle the cards first. All right, first one for Leo. We do have the King of Pentacles, followed by the Ace of Swords, and the third one, that is going to be the Ten of Swords. Talking about flash outs, okay? You, Leo, are going to... Well, it's pretty simple, and it is pretty short for you guys. I mean, you're gonna learn the truth about say your boss or about a friend of yours, someone which is important, okay? Someone which is, oh my God. Someone which is important for you. A person that there is a flow in between you two. You are investing in each other, so to speak. And you are come to an understanding how this genuine this individual pretty much is. It could be as well an organization, all right? It could be the company you're working in, for example. But bottom line, it is that an interactions that you do have, which are very important for you, you will realize what a bullshit or like is going to come to your understanding, not realizing, but is going to come to your understanding, because some kind of a very profound and undeniable truth is going to flash out in the next few days to a week. And should that be a person, you are going to be amazed what a scumbag you do have in front of you, which pretty much is gonna be the end of this interaction, and that is pretty much what you need to know. That said, if I were you, Leo, I wouldn't put all of my biscuits into a one basket here, right? And it's highly unlikely that you may have an emotional interaction with that person. This is more like a comforting aspect here, okay? You rely on each other to feel stable in one or another way, but it will turn out that actually they are, or that person or that organization, in reality, it's a leech. Right, so that was Leo. Now moving next, we do have Virgo. The Hierophant, it is the first one. Then we do have Four of Pentacles. And then it is the Death card. So these three cards. Right. Mm. Hey, Athena. So for you, Virgo, actually a pretty nice message, a great message, actually. And the message itself is that you are going to undergo a process of replacement, okay, of those aspects or fields of your life which they just simply do not fit. Let's put it that way, guys. Next few weeks, let's say that time frame, people that you do not trust are going to be replaced with people that you do trust, right? Jobs or tasks that you do not believe in, and actually they feel more like a chore than something productive that you're doing, are going to be replaced with a something productive that you are going to do. Unreliable individuals are going to be replaced with such that you can rely on, and in other words, okay, the useless, the useless is going to be replaced with the useful, and that will be particularly valid for an aspect in your life which you consider the pinnacle of your security. So when that aspect is replaced in a way that you can rely on it, you can trust it, okay, and you do see it as not as a chore, for example, not as a sustenance, but as a pillar of growth, then you are to see your future entirely certain and secured, right? So let me give you an example. If a friend, if your social circle is a circle that you just can't rely on or cannot trust into, then that social circle is to be replaced, or at least portion of it is to be replaced, and that replacement is going to guarantee, you know, your social security in the into your near to a moderate future moving forward. And here, whatever, how can I put it into words, whatever code of conduct you are to replace, those that you are going to omit from you know, from your understanding and from your environment, are going to be the redundant ones. So literally, for you, Virgo, should you decide to change some kind of a approach, should you decide to change some kind of address, I don't know how to put it into words, the way you address one thing or another, okay, should you decide to change the way you do your job, or the way you are addressing your girlfriend or your boyfriend, your family, whatever you decide to change, but it needs to come natural, not forceful, right? So you gotta feel it, that it needs to be changed in a certain way. That change is going to be very positive, actually. For if those cards are to be believed, there will be nothing negative coming out of it, because what you are changing is the redundancy, that the thing that it's not going to work anymore. It's just, it's outdated, it did its time, right? It outdid its usefulness, and now it's time to be let go of, whether it's a person, whether it's a habit, whether it's an affliction, whether it's a, like I said, code of conduct, or whether it is a belief. All right, so that was Virgo. Now moving next, we do have Libra. The death card for Libra, first one. Followed by the Five of Cups. And the third one, that is going to be the Two of Cups. That's good for you, Jen. Mm. Right, it's a huge message for you Libra, which are single, especially single by your own choice. What I mean is that, and that is a trend actually that I am observing and seeing in the society. People that do have attention, they just consciously are deciding to be alone, not to share their life with anyone. Not because they can't, right? but because they don't want to, and not because there is no suitable partner, but because, I don't know, they are putting their career in front of, or they are doubting the other person, but actually they are doubting themselves that they can be happy. You know, that's the bottom line of it. It's a huge message for you because in the next few days to a few weeks, you're about to meet a person that it fits. All right, it simply fits. And this singularity that you do have, it's going to be pointless from there on moving forward. And you will know it, right? You will know it. In fact, unconsciously, you are going to make the choice to or you will to decide, right, to give it a go. That is unconsciously, and then that thing is gonna hit your consciousness, and that will be the moment, are you gonna live up to your decision or not? Now, according to these cards, you should not deviate from the path that your subconsciousness is taking, right? And how you are going to recognize that path? Well, simply it will pull you that way. It will pull you toward that person, let's put it that way. It will pull you emotionally in that particular direction, and your conscious instinct is going to be to fight it off. Why? Well, there are a few simple reasons why. Well, because when you are around that person, right, your normal defense systems, like, for example, your pride, like, for example, your ego, like, for example, even if you will, your shyness, right, completely dismantled. It's like they do not exist. So you will feel vulnerable. You will feel pretty much naked. With a friend I had, we were discussing that situation, and my statement was, yeah, I mean, you feel and you do behave like an idiot. And our person said, yeah, you do, and it's beautiful. How it is beautiful, I don't know, but I guess it is, right? So that is for the single people. For those in partnerships, in relationships, those cards are showing here that you are gonna move past emotional obstacles, like, for example, your boyfriend or a girlfriend, or whatever preferences you do have, kind of did something and pissed you off, and you will move past that piss off, right? You will move past that meltdown, whatever the case you do had, and the emotional flow is going to be restored again. Whether they're going to restore it, or you will find someone else is going to show up to restore it for you. Right, so that was for Libra. Now moving next, we do have Scorpio. Hello, Patricia. Eight of Wands for Scorpio. Followed by the Page of Swords. And then we do have the Three of Wands. Okay, so those three. It's kind of, no, it's not fixed, but it's a bit better. I don't know. I'll try to investigate. I don't know what happened with it. You know, these minor imperfections when it comes to technology, you know, everybody has their own thing, right? everybody has their own kind of like affliction, and those minor imperfections when it comes to technology is something that truly pisses me off. It pisses me off because it worked yesterday, and I haven't done anything. Okay, I just haven't done anything. I literally run my computer. I turn on my computer and it isn't working today. I don't know why. All right, Yasmin, thank you for the $20 PayPal. Thank you, Yasmin. So you do have a specific inquiry, which is, are you gonna buy a house soon? And under you, I mean you and the person you are with. All right. All right, Scorpio, we are to be shit on top of. I don't know how to put it into words. What I mean is that there will be a person which kind of like looks us from a side. That is not someone we either work with or interact on a very personal level with. Okay, that is someone who looks at us from a side and does see us in a very objective manner. And for one or another reason, they're gonna shit on us because in their eyes and in their fair, and that is very important to be said, their fair assessment, we don't do quite enough in correlation with our capabilities, or in other words, laziness, right? That's one way, or the other is that we are selling ourselves in the wrong field, or in the wrong place, or for the wrong people, and that is going to make us think very hard. Truly going to make us think very hard. What kind of a foundation we do have, what kind of a patterns we are stepping on right now, and how we can utilize those patterns to their fullest and to their maximum. Another thing that we should know, okay, is that if we do have an expectations for opportunities to come around next few days to a few weeks, those opportunities are truly gonna come around. Some of them are gonna prove themselves to be a little bit more challenging, okay, than initially anticipated, but also what is gonna come with them as well is a assistance that we also have not anticipated to be attached to the opportunity itself. So yeah, more challenging, but also with a helping hand coming along it. But the bigger thing, like I said, that is that we are going to come to the realization through a very strong criticism, which just kind of like not doing enough, especially career-wise. Well, and love wise as well, but at that point when it comes to love wise, that is kind of like cashing in on the attitude or the attraction we are accumulating right now that we may not even realize that we are accumulating it. So that was for Scorpio. Now moving next, that will be actually a couple of minutes. Catch up my breath here. Hello, Sean. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the $20, Sean. Thank you. The end of the stream, you're gonna have your personalized reading of what you need to know this moment. Well, guys, what star sign you are and your significant one has nothing to do with what kind of a people they are going to be, because, well, there is, but very little, because, you know, more influence it is where their houses are, their rising, where the planets are as well. So there is a lot of variables, not just what kind of a star sign they are. And from Pisces to Pisces, there is a lot of difference. Mattia, thank you for the $20 super chat support. Thank you, Mattia. At the end of the stream, you're going to have your personalized reading. Because me and my mother, we are both Scorpio, but we are very different. Okay, very different. Hello, Yarabi Magic. My mother is very emotional. I am very callous. I said it many times. You know, the only thing that can make my emotions run, it's children. I love children, and when I say I love children, I love playing around with children. It's just right now I do have a baby niece, and I'm just melting down whenever I do see her picture, right? It's just children they can touch my soul. I don't know how to put it into words. People, no. It's just people, you know, everybody has their own problems. That's their own problem, right? And I'm a kind of person that I don't bother people with my problems. I tend to resolve my problems by myself for as much as I can. And so nobody knows, nobody can tell what I am going through today or tomorrow or the day after. I just don't share. And I do expect people not to feed me with their problems as well. Okay. Uh, Friends or people that I am going out with. Of course, we can have a conversation over it, but that conversation needs to be a constructive one instead of whining, right? I hate someone who whines. Yeah, children though, and what makes literally, you know, my soul crying is when I read or hear about a child abuse. It makes my blood boils, you know. And if the abuser is kind of like in front of me right now, let's not say for the sake of community guidelines of YouTube, what I am to do to them. It is just, there is no imagination in this world to describe what I can do to them. But one is certain, I'm going to give them just as much chance as they gave to the poor little thing. Just as much. All right. Enough about that. Sagittarius. Uh, we do have Justice first, followed by the Queen of Swords. And the third one, that is going to be the King of Cups. Yeah. Okay, the first thing that you need to know, Sagittarius, because I do have my moon is there first thing, and then I do have stellium in Sagittarius. Anyway, so what we need to know as a Sagittarius is that we can only rely on ourselves. Unfortunately, you want an opportunity. Let's put it that way. You want an opportunity. We do need an opportunity. We can't expect for the next few days, even few weeks, that opportunity to be served. We have to make it. Okay. We need to get the job done, or we need to see a certain job get done. We gotta do it ourselves if we want that job to be done right. So if you want to do something right, you gotta do it yourself. But on the flip side, our impulse is going to be very strong, in a sense of even overwhelming. It's going to be indomitable impulse. And pretty much whenever we do focus on something, we're simply gonna push it through, no matter how difficult it may look like, or even unacceptable for one or another party. And the other thing it seems that is gonna happen in the next few days to a week or two is that, and that is something mundane, but it's worth mentioning here, that the structure of our responsibilities, for lack of a better word, is going to be pretty much on point, and thus the time waste, or the waste of time, is going to be pretty negligible. So when we kind of like make an assessment of the next couple of weeks once they are done, we are to see that our work, our performance, what we did is very efficient, and therefore we are going to find ourselves being very satisfied with how we spend our time, and as well the performance generally that we did in our private, and as well in our professional life. And the other thing that those cards are showing here is that for the next few days, guys, we are going to have all the necessary ingredients, so to speak, in order to get the job done. And if at some point we do experience certain deficiency, that is because we are not emancipated enough, meaning we are not in tune enough with where the wind is blowing from and how the situation is set up. So it will be very important at that point to see all the surrounding, everything pretty much objectively rather than emotionally. All right, moving next, we do have Capricorn. Well, Anna, if for you maybe, okay, but there are type of people that are feeding on it. There are type of people that likes to be whiners, and I'm not saying it with any kind of grudge, all right? We are just different. And there are people who are in a different kind of like a layer of society, because if you think about it, whining has its how can I put it into words, its positive impact on certain type of societies. For example, the anonymous, what they're doing, it's just whining about their mistakes, right, and their experiences, but that helps them overcome certain addiction, whether it's a drug addiction, whether it's an alcoholism, whether it's an anger management. So it has its place. It's not my place, right? I don't belong there. But there is nothing wrong in whining for as long as you're doing it at the right place amongst the right people. So when I'm saying it that I don't like it, I don't mean it with contempt, right? I don't mean it with contempt. It is just, it's not my thing. You're welcome, Jen. All right, first one for Capricorn, Page of Swords, followed by Justice. And the third one, that is going to be the Queen of Cups. Those three. So these cards, they do relate to a person that you are considering being on your side, and he or she is on your side, but the speech that you are going to be given very soon, okay, you're not going to like it by far. In fact, the Capricorn I know would say it's making them live it. And you don't have to like it, truth be told, but the speech you are to be given, it's the truth, and that is what you need to know, right? And just because the points of view that you are to face is different from yours, that doesn't make it wrong. And it doesn't make it a garbage, for a lack of better expression here. So, yeah, I mean, according to these cards, it seems that you're going to have a huge points of conflict in between you and what you think. And, well, I didn't want to say it, but since you are coming forward, yeah. It is you I thought of when I saw those cards. Because you are the only Capricorn I know. But, where were I? Yeah, that different points of view will be very sobering. Well, let's put it that way. If you do want to kind of like continue having interaction with the person who showed you that, who told you that, you will have to swallow it, because it's not changing. Because for them, right, that's the ultimate, how can I put it into words, that is the ultimate truth, that is the ultimate view. It is just how they see the world. It is just, for example, how they see you, your approach, and all these kind of things. And there is nothing wrong with that, in a sense of they don't insult you in any way, or they don't do that to bring you down in a sense of emotional state. It is just what they think, and it falls to you to accept it. Now, why it's coming up? Well, it is because up until this point you do had a completely different impression, you know, that this person is going to support you in everything and is going to agree with you in everything you do. And them kind of like expressing that huge criticism is gonna be somewhat very, very shocking. Yeah, that's a word you use. All right, next that will be Aquarius. Three of Pentacles. Then we do have the Magician. And it is the Three of Swords. So the short straw here for Aquarius. What they are gonna kind of like learn, or what do you need to know, guys, it is that whether one of the two things, and it's just there is no kind of like positive way to say it here. Actually, three things. Now, one way how these cards manifest is literally a waste of time, or in other words, you are trying to build something you can't because it is either not your thing to do or you're just not skilled enough. I'm also raising Aquarius, and we are not skilled enough. That's one way how these cards could manifest. The other way how these cards can manifest, which is the most positive way, okay, is relating to thy career, and that is when co-workers, people that you do work with, or your boss, say your supervisor as well, criticizes you, but in a very malicious and aggressive fashion, okay? And their criticism is going to be completely unfair, and the only reason they're kind of like doing it that way is in order to make us feel like shit, okay? So what do you need to know in that case is that, you know, that criticism you're facing, it's totally, like I said, unfair, and it's just, I don't know what you should do, what we should do, aside from kind of like ignoring it or finding another job. And the last one, which is the worst, in my opinion, that is when we are left being a victim of the circumstances. Or in other words, someone makes a mess and we have to bear the consequences of that mess. That is something we should be aware of. And if something looks messy, like a project, like a situation, we better not get involved into it, because at the end, it does seem that we are to be the one to be blamed. But in all these three cases that I have described, what it is in common that we need to know is that we should be very careful of our givings. This isn't an expression in our country. When you do your givings, that means that you do give everything you got into one thing without expecting too much from it, you know. And here, in the next few days, we should be careful how we do express, or rather like where we do place our givings, because it does look like that they are to be exploited, unfortunately. All right, and last but not least, that will be Pisces. All right, first one for Pisces, we do have the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups. Followed by the Three of Wands. And the final one, that is going to be the Tower. What I like to call in those cases blessing in disguises, right? Because for you guys, there is a event that it is approaching, which you can't do not just much, but actually anything about of happening. It is happening one way or another, right? Usually those events are taking place from the last avenue that anyone expects to, right? And they kind of like shifts and change thy life to its core. And at the start, this shift will be very disturbing, in a sense of the, well, you may feel that the ground beneath your feet is kind of like swiped, and it's, you don't have support, you don't have parents anymore, you don't have any foundation. That is just the feel. In reality, it's a cleansing process, and when it's done, your day-to-day routine, your day-to-day reality is going to be transcended into a routine and reality which you're gonna freaking love. So that is something that you do need to know, that yeah, it's going to be quite how can I put it into words, unpleasant experience that you will have to endure next few days, next few weeks even. But ultimately, it's gonna lead you to a much more thriving and flourishing life when that process of transformation, it's pretty much over. Okay, so yeah, what do you need to know? That you are in a verge of the transition through a blessing in disguise. I am giving chills. Well, I'm not that scary though. All right. Super chat now. In a couple of minutes. And after that, I'm gonna have to try and fix the damn camera. It bugs me so freaking much. Yeah, sure. It could be a person, you know, Desires channel. It could be literally anything, right? Anything that rumbles the foundation of your life. I am giving to my students, I'm giving them few examples, and one of them, it's unexpected pregnancy that rumbles literally the foundation of your life. The other, it's a crush. You may have a crush on someone, and that is gonna rumble the foundation of your marriage if you are married, right? It doesn't have to be something scary, right? It doesn't have to be something damaging, but it is inconvenient, and it threatens everything you build by that point. All right. First, Jasmine. You're welcome. That Page of Swords, man. Hi, Jasmine. Those are the 3 cards for you. So we have the Page of Swords, 9 of Pentacles, and 10 of Pentacles. So there is a lot going on here, particularly. All right, Yarobi. Thank you for the $20 US. Thank you. Stay a little longer, and we're gonna check that one out. So Jasmine, again, a lot going on, and that is in particularly your relation or relationship, I would say, with that person. Page of Swords. Now, how you do recognize these people? They are very unique in the way they think and they do express themselves. Very, very seldom do they agree with anyone else. So pretty much these are people who are constantly opposing one or another thing, right? And it seems that this individual is gonna put under a question your progress, in a sense of, are you truly going for a leap of development here, or you are pretty much placing, I put it into words, placing your efforts for a lost cause, right? And another thing that is going to happen in between you and them as well, it is that they are going to question your independence and question your stability also. Their involvement, it's not to leash you in any way, okay, but to open your eyes. Is it worth listening to them? Yes, definitely it's worth listening to them. Not because, how can I put it into words? Not because what they are saying it's necessarily true for you, right? But you need to understand that they are seeing the situation you're in from a very different angle, from a very unique angle and unique perspective. And what they do have to say actually carries on a certain merit that can go along with the current merit you are moving forward, whether your business or whether your love life. Okay, and you can extract a lot of information, a lot of, how can I put it into words, a good practices and ideas from that interaction, which on a superficial level is going to be rather unpleasant experience, because like I said, anything you do is going to be put under a question. Another things that you should need to know if you are looking for a harmonious relationships, like friendships, like business partnerships, for the next few days to a few weeks, you have a better chance kind of like making them with people which are brand new rather than people which you already currently know. But bottom line here, Jasmine, it is that you are to be approached with a fresh look, with a fresh overview of your enterprises, and it's gonna worth listening to it, worth taking it under consideration, which, because it may not be necessarily 100% true, but it's gonna carry on, like I said, certain merit, certain truth to it, and it's gonna benefit you a lot if you do decide to take some pieces out of it and accustom them to your current plan of growth. All right, next, Sherry. Queen of Wands, the Fool, the Ten of Swords, those three, Sherry. So we also have a person here for you who, Sherry, they are going to urge you to leave one thing and to start another. And what do you need to know? It is that, well, this is the situation. What they're going to ask you to leave probably is something halfway through. What I mean is that you still do not consider your job there being done. Okay. And for that reason, the decision is not going to come natural, right? You are going to question, why would you leave it, since you still have what to do in it, right? But this individual is going to come with pretty convincing arguments, and what you need to know, it is that they do know what they are talking about. Okay. And their assessment over the situation, your projects, the projects that you can work together, or the job that you're going to do for them, or in generally the situation, pretty spot on. And that's that individual which you are to be approached by, or you have already been approached by. They are very successful when it comes to getting things done. In other words, they almost always carries over with the recipe for success, the sheer prevailing. It is always on their side. And bottom line here, Sherry, what you need to know is that deciding to switch, it's going to benefit you. Okay, even if it feels like you are how can I put it into words? You're doing it in an irrational fashion. At the end of the day, what counts, it's how successful you feel. And under the leadership of that individual, you are going to, or rather like the direction that this individual is going to give you, you are to feel very, very successful when the whole ordeal, or rather like the whole endeavor, it's over. And this is going to be just a chain event, because from it another thing is going to come around, and then another one, and then another one, or in other words, one thing is going to lead to another. And what could be a proposal for a short term commitment is going to happen to be actually with a prospect of having a quite of a long term commitment moving forward. For other words, if that person invites you for just a tiny job performance, that job performance may turn out to lead to another job performance, and then to another job performance, to a point where you may not have to work your current job anymore. So bottom line here is that you are to be approached with that suggestion, and if you do decide to go forward with it, you're not going to do a mistake about it, okay? But at the end of the day, you have to decide what you're going to do. What you need to know is that whatever your decision is, it sticks. So if you decide to go with them, there is no going back from that decision. If you do decide not to go with them, they're not coming back to ask you a second time. It's that opportunity, it's lost forever. All right, Sean, you're next. 10 of Cups, Sean. The Empress. And it is the Three of Pentacles. So, Sean, in the next few days to a couple of weeks, you are to receive the support that you do require for your development. We're talking about your development and about how can I put it into words? Your peace, for a lack of better expression. That's one thing, Sean. The other one, it is the realization of well, this is what it leads to, the realization of how well you can sort yourself out, but that is the result. The process is going to be that within the next few days to a couple of weeks, plans are going to start forming up in your mind, right? Plans for a distant future. For example, plans for your marriage, plans for your business, whatever the case. And those plans are going to be quite thorough, for a lack of a better word, all right? So they're going to be quite thorough and very well defined, very well founded. And what you need to know it is that these plans, they can work out. Okay, they can work out with a very careful and a meticulous execution, but also those plans will require allies, which you will have no problem finding out as well. And if you are feeling in a, can I put it into words? If you are feeling in a dead end kind of like situation, well, that situation either slowly, progressively, or just all of a sudden is going to open up again, right? So bottom line here for you, Sean, is that you should know that you are kind of on the right track for now with what you're doing and with your life, and as well with the people that you are associating yourself with. A confirmation. All right, next we do have Anna. The moon card, Anna, for you. Wow. Judgment. Knight of Cups. It's a pretty short message for you, Anna. And it is that the decisive moment had already passed. And you passed it to, how can I put it into words? You seized it, for a lack of better expression. Hello, News Devon. So you seized it, for lack of better expression. And what you need to know it is that nothing you do, or anyone in fact else do, can change the course of your future. All right? And that future is gonna be pleasant and is gonna lead you to a pleasant destination. So another thing, yes, you can use the phone, but in the next few days to the next few weeks, Anna, you may feel kind of like not unsatisfied. What is the word? Emotionally disrupted, feverish, agitated. And this is a normal, how can I put it into words? This is a normal state. And the reason for that agitation is going to be because you just don't know everything. You can't see how one thing or another is going to turn out for you, right? But with time, everything is going to fall in its place when the time is ripe for it. But long story short, Anna, what was to happen in terms of important choices and decisions already took place, and it seems that for what those cards are showing here, it does seem that you had passed it in a positive way. Thank you, News Devon, for the £5. Thank you. So whatever you did, you did it right, Anna. All right, next, Mattia. Seven of Cups, Mattia. Followed by the Knight of Wands. And the final one for you, Mattia, that will be Judgment. Just Temperance, I'm sorry. So that will be Temperance. And Mattia, we haven't talked for a while, but I don't know what kind of a plans you do have right now, right? But in the next few days to a couple of weeks, certain targets you have, certain plans, you may want to kind of like make true. They will become tangible. In other words, it will happen so that these plans can take place. What you wanna do can happen. The problem here is that certain. Let me see the third card. What it was? Yeah, right. So first thing, it is that you just can't carry over with certain people, or in other words, you will have to forlorn certain individuals, not including them into those plans, into these experiences, into those targets. Now that may refer to individuals of your family, it may refer to individuals you're working with, right, or friends, etc., etc. Just to describe you what type of individuals, well, these are people who just cannot keep their focus at one place, constantly coming up with new ideas, with kind of like they always have something else to do, right? And that attitude just can't keep them focused on the target, and therefore they're more of a liability than an asset. And the other thing it is that if you do want those plans to take place, they will require a radical actions, radical treatment, extreme approach from your behalf. At the end of the day, are you gonna decide to go for these targets or these plans? Well, that's entirely up to you. I mean, you do get to decide, but just so you know that if you do decide to go for it, that will be quite extreme at certain times. I mean, you will feel your not just only experience, but also day-to-day routine being in a very, very extreme state. Constantly, on the move, under pressure, and that feeling that one slip is gonna pretty much throw everything out of the window. So you do have an important decision to do here, Mattia. You gonna go for that risk, or you will kind of like sit cozy and just do what you are usually doing? All right, Yasmin, will you be able to buy a house? Those are cards for you, Yasmin. Knight of Pentacles, Page of Wands, Eight of Cups, Five of Pentacles. you can. Okay, so eventually that will happen, just not this year. And I cannot tell you what year exactly. So these cards here are showing a couple of things. Now, first one, it is that the market isn't suitable in a sense of selection. Okay, so whatever you do come up by from now up until the end of October this year, it's not correlate to the price, right? So it's either going to be way too ugly for the price, or the price is going to be unrealistic for it's not going to be fair, for a lack of better word. And the other thing is that the future is gonna hold, meaning after the end of October this year, the future is gonna hold a much better selection for you. So the more you wait, the better options are gonna be in front of you. But after October this year, there will be some kind of a difficulties that you are going to face, which are not very accustomed to having a house. So if you do force buying it now, that is, at least according to these cards, having a house is going to be and when I do say difficulties, I mean difficulties in the lifestyle having a house, right? So, and I will give you an example. So having a house is going to be more of a liability than anything else. For example, you may be offered a job in another state, and having a house kind of anchors you. And or just an idea to go somewhere else and to live in another country, having a house pretty much obstructs that. It straight away makes it impossible at that given state unless you sell it. But if you do sell it, you're pretty much screwed, because, you know, well, unless you haven't paid up front, because if you are having it on mortgage, you have to pay extra, right? I mean, you're buying it for, say, $500,000, and you have to return through the mortgage 600,000, which is a bit more, isn't it? So bottom line here, Yasmin, is that if you do decide to buy a house and you stop yourself on a certain selection of it, and you do decide, yes, that's my house, I'm gonna buy it, think of the next 10 years. And are you gonna be able to, or are you gonna be efficient sitting on that place for the next 10 years? All right, Yarabi Magic, what can I expect from this crush of mine? Let's see. Oops. You're welcome, Yasmin. Well, Yarabi Magic. Those cards, six and not much more. Truth be told, that person is gonna take advantage of your crush on him, and just having you around for sex. If you do plan to do that with him as well, go along and have your peaks of experiences with him. But other than that, your crush, it only works against you. That is if those cards are to be believed. All right. So I'm sorry, but for the time being, it doesn't look like working out in the emotional field, like loving each other. I mean, you may love him, but I don't think that he's going to return those feelings. Lisa, thank you for the $10 support. Thank you, Lisa. Stay a little bit longer to have your reading. All right, News Devon. Let's check on what do you need to know. A hangman for your News Devon. So what do you need to know? A couple of things now. First and foremost is that whatever, oh my God, whatever setbacks you are, yeah, you did miss yours, Sean. I do remember your cards. Even Sean, they were the 10 of Cups, the Empress, and the 3 of Pentacles. You did miss yours, yes. So News Devon. Couple of things that you do need to know. Should you face any setbacks, like delays, like the feeling is, you know, you're trying, and the damn thing never wants to work out. Just to give you an example, you're trying to set up a meeting and just constantly something comes up, and it is not like the person or the people that you're trying to set up that meeting doesn't want that meeting to happen. It's just, you know, something just comes up. Someone is involved in some kind of a car accident, you know, or it's just someone oversleeps, and it's just something always comes up. And that is, if you do want to call it a divine intervention or a divine protection, that is how the hangman works. There is a time where things needs to happen in order them to happen right? And they will happen only when the time comes. The more you try to force it, the worse you are making the situation. So what you need to know is just you just have to relax for the next few days or the next few weeks. Another thing that you do need to know, News Devon, is that it's going to benefit you a lot if you do try to see things from a different angle, and from a different perspective. And Lisa, you have the 8 of Pentacles. Oh my God, with the Ace of Pentacles. Those two cards for you, Lisa. Okay. And pretty much what they show is that, well, you're gonna have that opportunity to make your plan work, Lisa. That opportunity is gonna come in the next few days to a few weeks, and you may kind of like see it very hesitantly, because it will look and feel that it is way too good to be true, but it isn't, right? And this is literally is going to be for you an opportunity you planned for to further your goal, and it's going to feel way too good to be true, because it at the surface, not just only at the surface, in its entirety, all the circumstances and the predispositions, that they're just going to be perfect. So you couldn't have it better than that, right? And that opportunity to establish your plan, to further your goal, you know, to initiate, is going to do one of the two things, depending on where it manifests. If it manifests in your love life, then what it's going to do is increase and kind of like creates harmony into your relationships. Should it happen into your business, in your career, that will be an opportunity of how can I put it into words? Well, let's put it that way. What you are to initiate with it is going to be a reason for a rather quite lucrative business maneuvers and successful business operations. So that is what you need to know, Lisa, that when it's too good to be true, it's not. It is just as good as you can have it, and you should take it. All right, guys. That was for tonight. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you so much for your generosity. Hopefully for the next time I'm going to have my camera right. And until then, bye.